If a woman doesn't want you, she won't always tell you. She'll show you. And most men miss it. Let's be honest. A lot of guys waste months, even years, chasing a woman who quietly made her decision a long time ago. Here's the truth. Women rarely reject you directly. They just make you feel rejected without saying a word. Welcome to Man of Substance. Today, we're exposing one of the hardest but most freeing truths in the dating world. When a woman doesn't want you, she'll show you in 5 specific ways. And if you don't see the signs, you'll waste your time, your energy, and your self-respect on someone who emotionally checked out ages ago. See, women are subtle communicators. While most men focus on what she says, women express themselves through patterns, behavior, and energy. You might think she's just busy, confused, or that you just need to try harder. But no, what she's actually doing is showing you loud and clear that her mind is already made up. This video isn't about blaming women. It's about waking you up. You deserve clarity. You deserve peace. And most of all, you deserve to stop chasing love where it's not being returned. By the end of this video, you'll recognize the signs, end the confusion, and reclaim your self-respect. So if something's felt off but you couldn't explain it, or you're tired of decoding her every move, listen closely. This might be the message that finally sets you free. Sign number 1, she avoids touch. One of the clearest signs a woman no longer wants you is the loss of physical affection. At first, it may not seem obvious. She might still smile. She might still sit beside you. But something's different. The physical connection is gone. She no longer reaches for your hand. She stops finding excuses to touch you. No playful arm taps, no adjusting your shirt, no casual brushing past you. And when you try to initiate contact, she pulls away, gives a half-hearted hug, leans the other direction. Touch is primal. It's instinctive. When a woman is into you, she can't help but find ways to be close. When that instinct fades, so does the affection. Here's where most men go wrong. They rationalize it. She's just tired. She's stressed from work. She's going through something. But deep down, you already know, you just haven't wanted to accept it. Most guys ignore this shift until it's too late. They tell themselves, she's tired, she's stressed. It's just a phase. But here's the hard truth. When a woman starts pulling away physically, it's not about her mood. It's about her feelings. Because when a woman truly wants you, it doesn't matter how long her day was. She still leans into you. She still wants to feel your presence. Even tired affection is still affection. But when that starts to disappear, when the small, instinctive touches vanish, her heart is already halfway out the door. Let's paint the picture. You're both on the couch watching a movie. A few months ago, she'd curl up beside you, rest her head on your chest, hold your hand like it was second nature. Now, she sits on the opposite end, arms folded, eyes glued to her phone. You move closer. She shifts away. You reach out. She hits you with, "I'm hot," or "I'm tired," or "not now." That's not comfort. That's distance. And when a woman creates physical distance, emotional distance has already begun. And here's the part that hurts. You can't beg your way back into her arms. You can't force touch. The more you chase that connection, the more she pulls away. That's why awareness is power. See it early. Accept it for what it is. Because pretending everything's fine while the connection rots underneath the surface. That's how men lose themselves chasing someone who already let go. Unless she feels the loss and chooses to revive the connection herself, it's already gone. Sign number 2. Her texts feel cold. You felt it. You send her a message. And hours later, you get a dry, emotionless reply. No warmth, no curiosity, not rude, not angry, just Empty. That's when it hits you. The energy is gone. It used to be different. Fun. Flirty. Effortless. Now, texting her feels like messaging a coworker. When a woman starts losing interest, her communication quietly shifts. Not all at once, but gradually, like a flame slowly losing oxygen. First, her replies lose emotion, then they lose frequency, and finally, they lose effort. You're the one starting all the conversations. You're rereading her short replies, trying to convince yourself she's just busy, but deep down. You know, there was a time she'd reply in seconds, even when she was out with friends, even while working. She'd send voice notes, double texts, emojis. She made you feel wanted. Now it's one-word answers. No spark, no playfulness, no pull. Texting reflects investment. When a woman wants you, she finds ways to talk to you. It's not about message length, it's about intention. And when that intention fades, so does the connection. Check the vibe. Is she engaged, playful, curious? Or is she just being polite? Too many men lie to themselves. They say things like, she's probably just having a bad day, or she's not really a texter. No, if she was excited about you, you'd feel it. Even through a screen, women know how to show interest. And when that interest fades, it's not random. It's intentional. Here's what really stings. She might not even be upset with you. There might be no fight, no drama, no obvious reason. Just a slow fade. And you're left trying to fix something that already died quietly. Still, you keep texting, hoping the old spark magically returns. You stay up late, waiting for a reply, wondering if you did something wrong. But sometimes it's not about what you did. It's about how she feels and how that feeling has changed. That's a brutal truth to face, but it's the truth that sets you free. Because once her texts go cold, that's your sign. Stop chasing. If she wants you, she'll show it. And if she doesn't, you'll feel like you're always bothering her. So, stop pretending. Stop trying to revive a conversation that's already flatlined. A woman's attention should never be something you have to beg for. If she's pulling away, let her. Let silence say what her words no longer will. Sign number 3. You're always the one chasing. When a woman stops wanting you, here's one of the clearest signs. You're the only one putting in effort. You're always the one initiating texts. You're planning the meetups. You're checking in, showing interest, trying to keep the connection alive, while she just watches from the sidelines. And eventually, you realize this isn't a relationship anymore. It's a performance. You're doing everything, and she's doing nothing. Let's get honest. If you're the only one reaching out, that's a red flag. If you're the one carrying all the weight, you're not in love. You're in denial. Even the strongest, most confident man will eventually burn out chasing someone who never turns around. In the beginning, you might confuse this with love. You think, I'm just being consistent. You think, she'll come around if I just keep showing I care. But consistency without reciprocation, that's not loyalty. It's self-destruction. You should never have to convince someone to care about you. You shouldn't have to chase what's not running towards you too. Here's where most men go wrong. She pulls back, and instead of mirroring her distance, they close in harder. They think more attention will fix the problem. They think being extra available will bring her back. But it never works like that. Here's the truth. When a woman loses interest, your effort won't bring her back. In fact, it often does the opposite. It makes her more comfortable not trying at all. There's a twisted reality in how attraction works. The more you chase a woman who's already checked out, the less she respects you. Not because you're a bad man, but because you've made yourself too easy, too available, too desperate. You're clinging to crumbs just to stay close. That's not love. That's fear. Fear of losing her, fear of being alone, fear that if you stop chasing, she'll disappear forever. But stop and ask yourself, what are you really holding on to? Is it her or the illusion of who she used to be? You were never meant to exhaust yourself just to be noticed. Real connection is mutual. Real attraction flows in both directions. When a woman wants you, you'll know. You won't have to guess. You won't have to fight every day just to stay relevant. So if you're doing all the chasing, it's time to step back. Stop telling yourself stories. Look at the truth, not the fantasy. Because the moment she stops meeting you halfway, you're not chasing love anymore. You're running laps around your own self-worth. Sign number 4. She flirts with other men. Here's a harsh truth that most men avoid. When a woman doesn't want you anymore, she won't hide her attention from other men. In fact, sometimes she'll make sure you see it. And that's what really stings. Not just the fact that she's flirting, but that she clearly doesn't care how it makes you feel. You notice it in the little things, the way she lights up around other guys, the louder laugh when someone else is talking, how her voice softens or her body language shifts when she's texting in front of you. Suddenly, you're not the one who excites her anymore. Someone else is. But you gaslight yourself. You tell yourself, she's just friendly. It's nothing. I'm overthinking. You're not. When a woman is truly invested, mind, body, soul, she doesn't entertain other men. Not because she's incapable, but because she doesn't want to. Loyalty is effortless when desire is alive, but when that desire fades, so do the boundaries. She might still be with you technically, but emotionally, she's already open to someone else. Let's be real. Few things crush a man's confidence more than watching the woman he loves light up for another man. You try to hold it together. You try harder. You think if you step up, if you do more, if you become better, she'll stop looking elsewhere. But it doesn't work like that. It doesn't just happen. If she's flirting with other men while still keeping you around, that's not a mistake. It's a message. She's showing you exactly where her attention is going. And if you ignore it, she'll keep doing it. Why? Because she knows you'll tolerate it. This is where most men collapse. Instead of walking away with dignity, they cling tighter. They get jealous, controlling, or worse. They go silent and bitter. But none of that earns respect. It just makes her pull away faster. Here's the truth you need to remember. A woman who truly wants you won't make you feel like you're in a competition. She won't test your insecurities by giving attention to other men. She won't risk your trust for a few cheap compliments from strangers. If she does, it's because you're no longer the man she's choosing. You're just the man she's keeping around. Let that sink in. You don't need to fight for what's yours. And if you feel like you have to fight for her attention, maybe she's not yours anymore. Sign number 5. She's too busy. When a woman stops wanting you, suddenly her life gets overwhelmingly busy. Work piles up. She's always tired. She's overwhelmed with family, with life, with her mood. And at first, you give her the benefit of the doubt, because life does get hectic. But here's the key. Busy isn't the problem. It's what people make time for that reveals where their heart is. If a woman genuinely values you, she will carve out time, not because it's convenient, but because you matter. It won't always be a full weekend together, but she'll show effort. She'll call, she'll reply, she'll find ways to stay connected. When that effort disappears, when every interaction starts to feel like you're intruding, that's no longer about her schedule. That's about her priorities. It starts subtle. She used to be free after work. Now she just needs space. You used to see her on weekends. Now they're suddenly full. Plans just keep coming up. You ask to grab dinner Friday. She says, "I'll let you know." Friday comes and goes. No text, no update. You follow up Saturday. She says, "Sorry, I got caught up with stuff." And then, nothing. After a few rounds of that, you've got your answer. It's not bad timing, it's not a bad week, it's intentional distance. The truth? Busy is the softest, safest way to reject someone without having to say it out loud. It's a slow fade, a polite way to keep you close just in case, while quietly avoiding any real emotional commitment. It's passive rejection disguised as responsibility. And the worst part? You start lowering your standards. You begin celebrating scraps. A 2-minute call, a 1-word text, anything that feels like attention. You tell yourself, maybe things will go back to how they were, but deep down, you feel it. The distance is growing, the silence is louder. Here's the hard truth. A woman who truly wants you doesn't need to be chased through her calendar. If she keeps saying she's too busy, believe her. Not about her schedule, but about her feelings. Because no one is too busy for someone they truly desire. And if she won't make time for you, it's not that she's overwhelmed, it's that she's over you. Sign number 6, you feel like a burden. You can't always explain it, but you feel it. Something's different. Being around her used to feel light, easy, fun. You talk for hours, laugh over nothing, just enjoy each other. Now it feels heavy, like you're walking on eggshells. You hesitate before calling. You reread your messages before sending them. You ask yourself, am I bothering her? That's not love. That's survival, and it's not what you deserve. When a woman no longer wants you, the energy always shifts, not in loud arguments, but in quiet withdrawals. You stop feeling welcome. You start feeling tolerated. Every time you try, she pulls away. You suggest plans and she's tired. You share your feelings and she shuts down. She doesn't say she doesn't want you. She doesn't have to. You feel it. And most men, they turn the blame inward. Maybe I'm too emotional, too clingy. So they shrink. They hide their needs. They silence their voice, all to keep her comfortable. But all that does is drain you further. Because the moment you start to feel like a burden, it means you're no longer being loved. You're just being tolerated. When the connection feels off balance, it's usually because it is. You're giving more than you're receiving. You're showing up with energy, time, love, and getting indifference in return. And a relationship like that? It doesn't feed you. It drains you. You are not supposed to feel guilty for wanting love, attention, or effort. You're not supposed to feel like asking for her time is an inconvenience. When a woman truly wants you, your presence feels like a gift, not a request. But when she doesn't, suddenly, everything you do is too much. Even your silence becomes a problem because she's not tuned in anymore, not emotionally, not spiritually, not deeply. And that's not how love is supposed to feel. You deserve connection, not confusion. You deserve security, not anxiety. You deserve to feel wanted, not like you're waiting to be wanted. So if you're constantly feeling like a burden, you're not being dramatic. You're not being needy. You're just noticing the shift your heart doesn't want to admit. She's already let go, even if she hasn't said the words out loud. Sign number 7. She stops respecting you. Here's the most painful sign of all. She stops respecting you. Not always with shouting or cruelty. Sometimes it's quieter than that. It's in her tone, her coldness, the way she dismisses your words, laughs at your boundaries, or stops taking your opinion seriously. And most men miss it. Not because they're blind, but because they're too focused on keeping her to notice she's already letting go. Let's be real. A woman cannot stay attracted to a man she doesn't respect. And once respect fades, everything else unravels. Love, desire, loyalty. It doesn't matter how much you give, how often you're there, how pure your intentions are. If she doesn't respect you, it's over. Here's the hard truth. A lot of men let it happen. You ignore the signs. You swallow your voice. You let her set the tone, the pace, the rules. You let things slide because you're afraid if you speak up, she'll walk away. You tolerate the little jabs, the sarcastic digs, the eye rolls, the way she interrupts or ignores you. You tell yourself that's just how she is. But every time you let it go, you teach her your boundaries are flexible, that your self-respect is negotiable, and that's when everything shifts. She used to admire your strength. Now she's bored by it. She used to value your thoughts. Now she cuts you off. She used to notice when you pulled away. Now she doesn't even ask why. And no, that's not just her personality. That's a woman who no longer sees you the same way. The problem isn't that she changed. It's that you let her start seeing you as weak. And here's the truth. Stop tolerating disrespect just because you're afraid to lose her. Silence isn't strength. It's self-betrayal. There's nothing noble about staying quiet when you're being disrespected. A man who doesn't command respect will never hold a woman's interest for long. She might still be there physically, but emotionally, mentally, she's already gone. Wake up. You're not being patient. You're being passive. You're not understanding. You're avoiding confrontation. And every time you let it slide, you're slowly killing the part of you that once had standards. So pay attention. Watch how she talks to you. Notice whether your presence brings appreciation or irritation. And if the respect is gone, don't beg for it. Don't argue for it. Don't try to earn back something that should have never left. Walk away. Because staying in a relationship where you're not respected will erode your confidence, break your spirit, and leave you hollow. Respect isn't optional. It's the foundation. And if it's not there, then neither is she. Not really. Conclusion. Let's stop pretending. Most men see the signs long before the end. But instead of acting, they hold on. They tell themselves, if I just love harder, if I stay quiet, if I give it more time. But the truth is this, when a woman doesn't want you, everything changes. Her voice gets colder, her effort fades, her respect disappears, and the longer you ignore that truth, the more damage you do to yourself. Here's a brutal but necessary truth. A woman would rather disrespect you than admit she doesn't want you anymore. She'll string you along with half-effort, mixed signals, and polite excuses. Not because she's cruel, but because avoiding honesty is easier than facing the discomfort of goodbye. And if you don't wake up and walk away, she won't stop you from sinking. She'll just stop caring that you are. But this isn't about blaming her. It's about holding yourself accountable. If you truly saw your worth, you'd never beg for someone to value you. If you respected yourself, you'd never stay where you're clearly unwanted. So here's what I want from you. Drop your story in the comments. No filters, no shame. I'm in the replies. Let's talk. This isn't just a channel. It's a brotherhood. If you've ever felt this pain, know this. You're not alone. And it's time to rise again. Stoic Tips is here for that reason.